Our next point is why it is called variable. It is called variable because the value of variable can be changed. Let us suppose that we can write int a equal to 10 and a equal to a plus 20. That means the value of a is increased by 20. So in JVM, this 10 is replaced by 30 because 10 plus 20 equal to 30. So hence we can say that the value of variable can be changed. Types of variable. In Java there are three types of variable: local variable, instance variable, and static variable. So let us start with what is local variable. A local variable is a variable which is directly declared in a method or a class, and it should be initialized. There is no default value of local variables. And now, what is instance variable? Instance variable is a variable which is directly declared into the class, and a static variable is also a variable which is directly declared in a class, but it should be start with a static keywords. So that's why it is also called as class variable. Take an example to understand variables in Java. So we create a class, public class demo, in which we take two variables, int x equal to y, int x and y. They are called as instance variable. They are called as instance variable because they are declared without static keyword. Now we take two variables, static int p and q. They are called static variable because they are declared with a static keyword. That's why they are called as static variable. And we made a method which is void 8, in which int a equal to 5, b equal to 10 and c. And we give the output a plus b equal to c. So system output equal to c. So that's why they are called as local variable, because they are declared in a method. That's why they are called as local variable. Now we create a main class, public static void main, in which we create three objects: demo d1, demo d2 and demo d3. So there are three objects in the void main class. So we can take this as a diagrammatically example. xy, 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 xy. There will be a 3 copy of xy. Why? Because they are instance variable. When we create a single object d1, then a copy of xy is created. When we create d2 object, then another xy copy is created. When we create d3 object, then another copy of xy is created. Now for static variable p and q. Static int p q. So for p and q, there will be a single copy for all the static variable. That means we create two variables, p and q. So there will be a single copy for the entire class of all the static variables. That's why they are called as static variables. Now let us discuss some important points about variables. So let us start with the local variable. First point is declaration. What is the declaration for the local variable? They are declared in the method, constructor or blocks. For example, void 8 is a method in which int c and d are called as local variables because they are declared in the method 8. Now what is the scope for this variable? For this c and d, the scope of this variable is inside the method. They cannot be used outside the method. When local variables get allocated, they are allocated when the execution of the method is started. And what is the memory for local variable? How they can be stored in a memory? So they are stored in a stack memory. And what is the default value for the local variable? There is no default value for the local variable. If we does not initialize local variable, so it gets error. Now what is access specifier? Access specifiers are the public, private, protected are called as access specifier, but we cannot use access specifier for the local variables. Now we will study about instance variable. Declaration. What is the declaration for the instance variable? They are directly declared into the class. And what is the scope for the instance variable? The scope for the instance variable is within the class. They can be used within the class. And when variables get allocated, instance variables are allocated when the object of the class is created. And where the instance variable is stored, they are stored in the heap memory. And what is the default value for the instance variable? There is a different value for the different data type. For example, int. If an instance variable is of int type, so its value is 0. For boolean, its default value is false. So different data type have different value for instance variable. Now we can also use access specifier for the instance variable. We can use private, protected and public. Now we will discuss about static variables. What is the declaration of the static variables? They are declared directly into the class. What is the scope of the static variable? The scope of the static variable is within the class. And when static variables get allocated, they are allocated when the class are loaded. Now stored memory. Where the static variables are stored? They are stored in the non-heap memory. And what is the default value for the static variables? These are same as the instance variables. For example, for int data type, the default value is 0. For boolean data type, the default value is false. And access specifier, yes, we can use access specifier for the static variables also.